When I was 18, I passed to go to America to work on the farm or in the factories. I also took the test for the Royal Air Force and I passed the test. And my mother said to me, "My son, the mother country is at war. Go and help. If you live, it will be a good thing." So I came and served in the Royal Air Force because at that time, most West Indians thought it was a good thing, and I still think it was a good thing. The mother country was at war, and she could not beat Nazi Germany on her own. Having joined the Royal Air Force, you had to do square bashing, learn to walk up and down and drill and take the civil mentality out of you into military. You're told to go, you go, and you're told to come, you come. I arrived in Filey, which is in Yorkshire, in November, 9th of November, 1944. I trained for square bashing. Then I went to R.A. Hawkins near Folkestone. And from there, I learned engineering. Now, the old-time aircrafts, which is propeller-driven, if they stop, you can ring me, man, even today, and we get it going. Not jets. I know nothing about jets. And I was proud to be British, having served with men from Norway to the Sudan. And we felt that we had to work together to survive. Of course, food was rationed. A lot of people don't really realize that. And I have been hungry, not starving, during the war. I remember a case in Nottingham where some American servicemen, I think they were from the Rangers, saw a fellow bandit, we call him Pig, with his girlfriend. The girlfriend had blonde hair on her shoulder and all that. And the Texan came and says, "You shouldn't be with that girl." And taking away the girl. And I was there. I wanted to be. Pig said, "No, it's my war, man." Boom! Knock him down. Next one got boom. And that was what it was like, survival. And the people, when the police arrested Pig, went to the station and says, "This black man didn't do anything. It is the Americans." Well, they said they can't let him out. So they rang the duty officer at R.A. Hucknall. He came about an hour after, and the witness says it, and they let him out. And this was what happened a lot. The Americans just don't think you should survive in their own environment.
Well, I felt relieved it was ended. And I went up, when the war, when the war ended in May 45, I think it was, when they had the V-Day, I went up to...
I did not want to return to Jamaica because I was doing a course with sanitary engineering by letters. And when I asked the authorities, they said, "No, unless you were married to an English girl or a college have accepted you, you have to go back to the colony." I was very disappointed. I went back in November on the SS Almanzora, and after 5 months, I was not happy in Jamaica. Things have changed. In 1944, there was a hurricane blowing down most of the bananas, coconut. That takes about 5 years to get back properly. Secondly, I wanted to finish my studies. In Jamaica, my father worked it out that I was going to be a farmer because I'm the eldest son. I had no intention of doing that in Jamaica because planting banana is not a problem. It's selling them. Of course, before, but by 9, 10 o'clock, it was a sunny day.
There was someone come and met us, and they says, "Well, you have to have a ration book and you have to register it and everything."
At first, Britain welcomed the Sons of the Empire. The Evening Standard sent a plane to greet them as the Windrush sailed up the channel. They came to Attlee's newly nationalised industries, to a country rebuilding after 6 years of war. Many had served in that war and saw their voyage as a journey home.
It was immediately after the war, and we could not have expected a great lot. We expected to rough it.
On the boat, it was realized that about a third of the men had nowhere to go. And the authorities, although they didn't want us here, thought it was a good idea to send us to Peckham Deep Shelter. Now the reason was that it was used during the war as an air raid shelter. And after the war, some students used it. So they took us in minibuses to Clapham Deep Shelter. I think it was about 232 of us. And from there we did our documentation, and within 1 month, everybody had left the shelter and worked. One of the first men to got a job was Columbus. The man was a painter in Jamaica. And when he went to the place, they said, paint? They said, well, give me a try. They gave the man a try. He got the job, and within 2 weeks, he was out of the shelter. And gradually, we left the shelter. But overall, the host nation, the people, were very helpful, even until today. It was difficult to get accommodation. And I remember my brother came here in 1949, the year after, and I had him in Stockwell, and I was from the Air Force on leave, and I went to see him. We went out to our fish and chips, and I was going up back the stairs. The landlord said, no, you can't go up, you don't live there. I said, what? My brother says, my brother, son, that's how it is. You just have a room here, and you have to do exactly what they want. He said, but I tell you what, we should buy our own house. And this was happening all about. And by having difficulty, we had to club together and buy our own house. All right, we have an empty house, no furniture, no anything. But you could get second-hand furniture. And most of the traders, if you keep your nose clean, would let you have pillowcase, blankets and all that, and you pay weekly. And today, most West Indians by 1982, especially Jamaicans, own more property than the host nation, because in those days, the host nation lived in a corporation house or in a council house. It's only of late they think of buying their own place, but we had to. Most of the houses, 1 in 10 houses in Southwark have a bath in 1950s or so. So you have the public baths, that's why you have Camberwell baths and Brixton bath and all that. And on a Friday evening, you normally go to the bath and you queue for about an hour, half an hour, for 20 minutes. And if you stay longer than 20 minutes, they'll knock on the door. And the people who did not go to the bath, you have a washpan at the back of the house. You put some water there in your room. You use a washpan in between, and you have a bath. But in my case, I found going to the public bath was not a bad thing. It was difficult to get a house. I remember seeing a house for sale, 9 Sears Street. We went to the bank. The bank says, no, you haven't got a bank account. I said, I've got a post office account. They said, anyway, we can't lend you the money. And this was happening all over. I was in the Air Force. I took the letter to the seller. He said, to think that you have served in the Air Force, you're in the Royal Air Force now, and you have got the deposit. And they would. We will lend you the mortgage. They lent us the mortgage for 10 years. We paid it off in 5. But I thought if I had a stable job, I would help myself and help my friend. Applied to join the police, got the application form. This day I went to New Scotland Yard for the test. Took the test and I was surprised. I passed the test. Took the medical, I passed the medical. You have to go before a selection panel, which is about 6 chief officers and superintendent, whatever it is. And they asked me why I want to join. I said, well, I was in the Royal Air Force. I want a job. They said, well, you're a carpenter, because I went and learned carpentry as well. They says, you just want the job for easy. I said, no, I want a job for a career. They said they will send and let me know. 4 days or so after I got the letter, they are very sorry I could not join the Metropolitan Police. I was disappointed. I lived that in 1983, the commissioner of the Metropolitan Police asked Sam King with a gold chain around his neck to get black people to join the police. Abused with that. But they were genuine, and many, I would say 90% of those people are married today, like Phil Potts. There is that build-up of we don't want you, and we don't want you in Notting Hill. And that, oh, the teddy bears, not the host nation, maybe just 5% thought they could beat us back to the boats. We, as ex-servicemen, had no intention of running from Hitler, less more teddy bears.
The housing was terrible, you know, right all around the Stanford, around the area, like you go to the big, notice them up out the Clapton there, and all over the Amherst Park. Sorry, no colours, no children, and no dogs. So housing was terrible, you know.
West Indian play cricket, man, how you asked that? Most of us would join a cricket club. In my case, the last cricket match I played, Johnson, who played for Essex as a wicketkeeper, just before, and I opened the batting. Dewes, who played for Cambridge and England, was the umpire. So I had a rough idea, but there's another side to it. Where I come from, Patterson's grandfather, Sampy, taught me cricket. Well, Patrick Patterson was one of the West Indian fast bowlers, so I can blow my trumpet, say I run in good race. I came home one evening, the Labour group says that they're going to make Sam King the mayor. I said, what? Mayor is a long-term job, but as it worked out, the man who should be the mayor that year got drunk at a party, and the South London press have his picture stumbling all over the place. They want a safe pair of hands. I got home about 10 o'clock, my wife was in bed. I said, Mayor, you know these people are stupid. They say they're going to make me mayor. She looked at me in my face and said, Sam, you're disciplined, you're capable, you could do anything if you have any ambition, but you've got no ambition. I said, well, I have to have a little ambition, you know. A year after, the Labour grouping selected me as a mayor. Now, once the Labour group select you as the mayor, you're there. Because the opposition, we were about 44 out of 62. So the opposition only talked. But give them their due, no one opposed Sam King as the mayor, because my background was Royal Air Force. My background was with Claudia Jones, God rest her soul. I was responsible for the finance for the first West Indian Carnival. I was a member of the ex-servicemen. So I've done my little bit and I've done my homework.